Welcome back to Sports Talk ATL. I'm Chase Earl, joined by Alex Lord. Marcell Ozuna, everybody's favorite Brave, baby. Everybody's favorite Brave. Had one of the worst months I've ever seen from a player, from an everyday starter. I mean, he racked up almost -1 WAR in like 15, 20 games. Then the calendar switches to May, and all of a sudden a flip switches for the Big Bear. He's been one of the best hitters in the Braves lineup since in the month of May. I kind of honestly don't know why Brian Snitker ever takes him out. I know he's got a lot of guys to give it bats and stuff like Travis d'Arnaud and Sean Murphy and Eddie Rosario and all those guys. But I mean, he has an 1144 OPS since the calendar switched. And I want to ask you, and I have my own thoughts, but I'll start with you. Do you think this, obviously 1144 OPS, not sustainable, but do you think him being a productive player for the rest of the season is sustainable?
Listen, productive is relative. At this level, obviously not. We know that. But Marcell Ozuna doesn't need to, hit 900 OPS for the Braves to think he's a positive addition in the lineup. The Braves lineup is already littered with guys. I mean, we just need Marcell. He's at 715 OPS. If we could get that close to 800, the Braves would be thrilled. I think he's here to stay. He just looks more comfortable at the plate. He looked like, he's had that weight lifted off his shoulders. He saw a couple go over the fence. He seems a little happier. He just hit that 10-year mark, celebrate with the guys. Snit got him a bottle. The guys got him a bottle.
Which I think is important. I think that's important.
He looks like he's having fun. He looks like he's having fun, and that's another thing. The locker room loves this guy.
Yes.
So all the Braves country who's been like, this guy's a cancer, this, that. The guys in the locker room love him. He's a good locker room presence, and Alex Anthopoulos prioritizes that over a lot of other stuff. Just don't be a nuisance in the locker room. And this guy's a positive addition in the locker room.
Yeah, I think that shows a lot the way they celebrated his 10 years in the majors, which only 10% of baseball players ever reach. So congrats to Marcell Ozuna, but congrats even more for figuring it out. I know he's been through a lot. I'm sure mentally it was really draining. Everyone was booing him. I know he's going through legal issues. I know he's going through family issues. Like there's been a lot going on in his life. So if all that is in the rear view, he keeps his nose clean. He's definitely got the monkey off his back in terms of pressure. I don't see any reason, because this guy has been a productive major leaguer for so long in his career, that he can't keep being it. I mean, I projected him before the season to have about 1 to 2 WAR, which as a DH is pretty good, and hit 30+ homers, which he's on pace to do. He has 6 homers already in May. He has an 1144 OPS. But I think what stands out to me is the approach, in that he's not striking out. He only has 7 strikeouts in 11 games, which for Marcell Ozuna is really good. I think his strikeout rate is creeping down to about 20% on the season, which would be close to a career low. I mean, this guy really is looking like the hitter that he once was, and maybe even a little bit better. He's taking a ton of walks. So you look at that 172 batting average, but he's getting on base at a 300 clip. That's not that bad, especially when you're hitting on pace to hit 30 homers. And then you look at how hot he's been recently. I think the success is here to stay. I think Marcell Ozuna in the middle of the Braves lineup is something we can start talking about again. A guy that's in the 6 hole, the 7 hole, maybe even the 5 hole if he keeps staying this hot. And that's a great thing. I've always said since the beginning, I know all the haters are around, and I understand why they hated. He was terrible. He had bad off the field issues. But the best version of the 2023 Braves, the best version of the 2022 Braves, was with Marcell Ozuna in the lineup, because what he brings. If you have a guy at the end of your lineup that is capable of hitting 30 to 40 homers, that lengthens out the group so much. You can leave Arcia in the 9 hole, has played great. Harris in the 8 hole. You have Ozuna hitting 40 homers, or 30, 40 homers in the 7 hole. Whoever you want. But the point is, it is a very long lineup when Marcell Ozuna is at the back of it, capable of changing the game with one swing.
Yeah, I never understood Braves fans who wanted to see him fail. We could talk about all the off-the-field issues, but what I care about is on the field, and we could criticize him for that because he was downright terrible. You said it, -1 WAR and like something that's almost impossible, but he's turned it around. We are all Braves fans. We want the best for the team. We want to win a World Series. So you know how we do that? We get the best version of Marcell Ozuna. I don't care, that whatever your feelings aside, I care about baseball. I want the Braves to win, and to do that, Marcell Ozuna, he's got, just like you said, he doesn't have to be a world beater. You know, he's hitting 300 right now in the month of May. I'm not saying he's going to sustain that.
What's his on base percentage?
Nearly 400. So this guy is playing unreal, and he's not going to keep up that pace. But if he just regresses just a bit and keeps up that home run, I mean, this is great for the Braves. And what's crazy is people are like beside themselves. They're like, oh, I want him to fail.
Yeah, he's hitting the ball hard. He's not striking out. He's taking his walks, and he's hitting the ball for the power. I don't know how many times I have to say that on this show, but that is a recipe for success. If you look at what Acuna's doing, all of his walk numbers are up. His strikeout numbers are down. He's hitting the ball hard. Look what he's doing. That is the recipe for success in the major leagues, and Ozuna is doing it right now. Coming up after the break, we have another terrible, just stop tweeting.